The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Well, that's one way of starting off a chapter. Oh.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine! A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
Well, I feel nothing's gonna come good out of this.
In but a few moments from now, these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you! This one, yes! Woo-hoo! Yes! Please, that's not what I wanted.
That's not good. Greetings, everybody. Gunnels3 here, and welcome to the Great Ace Detective Chronicles. Last time we finished Chapter 2. Today we probably start, if not one, if not the best chapters I heard. I was told. Because from this point onward, it's mostly plot, so something big's gonna happen, that's for sure. Wasn't expecting that to happen, that's for sure. Well, let's get going. Reno, are you listening? Oh, sorry, what was it that I was from? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away this morning. Didn't you like to know what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not at all. What were you talking about again? Today's paper is full of reviews about the Great Exhibition. Ah, yes. Great exhibition. I like to go sometimes. Oh boy. You really aren't your not usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Speaking of someone's down. Did you say something? Speaking of. Oh gosh, you're even down, more down. Where did you run, Mr. Roto? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. Lordy. You might have known that I was here, you know, because breakfast, Iris, is quite right. You clearly are lacking in vim. So much that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Oh, of course, I deduce the person is perfectly well. Some people, simple observation. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning is with the usual curl spikes. Clearly, it's deduced that. Let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I see where this is going. Ours always like this. It's always has. Ever since we first met. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. It doesn't look like a haircut is such a smooth. What a dude. Thanks again. It's crossed my mind recently that this has been 6 months now. 6 months since I was forbidden from working in court. I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that was why you're really glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Speaking of... did you say something, Iris? Here we go again. Back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems very more down than the dumps. I know, and the great exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't you go see it you together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm the great detective after all. Hey. You're embroiled with such trickery in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from it. Is that it? I don't remember hearing you working on a case, Hurley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. First things first. Yes. This is where you write notes, isn't it, Iris? What's a melting pot and about the blue carnival? Yes, it's from the case of theft that Hurley solved ages ago. The theft of a precious stone. A carbuncle is another name for garnet. You can see, especially if it's cut with a round top. Oh, really? A garnet? That was blue, right, isn't it? Oh, the thing is, they're usually red, not blue. Have ever been discovered. Oh. Well, who knows what stolen gemstone actually was? It's a sapphire! That's a real mystery of the case. Sherlock Holmes conundrum, huh? It's a sapphire. It's keeping up the whole trophy thing. Been 6 months ago. Half a year ago now, I took the defense of a young girl to trial in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at the first seemed a simple case of murder that took place in London's pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a far-fetching plot involving the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Words fall, and the situation is deeply horrible. Bernardo. Yes, my lord. I will declare upon your fate as the cursion of the trial. Yes, of course, my lord. That's because he, in the end, I had the right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend some time research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You haven't heard, reading all those big fat tomes about Graves' Law up in the room and the notes about Soul's cases. A brewing iris, special plenty, fetching my diary behind bent bread for me. You've been something of a manservant around here. Start on the silver next, Mr. Oh. Well, I'm thinking of going to act as the power to be reconsider. The powers to be such specifically along Strongheart, the British Supreme Court of Whitehall. Along Strongheart? Delightful twin chief justice. Is not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. Great expedition. The whole London have been swept up in the great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology in the world, and the finest works of art it beats in engineering. For 6 months, our capital has been will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I like to when I look down on London from one of these lovely balloons? Looks down. Do you mean those things? By fly? Yes, of course. To fly high in the sky and don't even need wings. All I need is hot air. How? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. Hot air balloon! I can't understand it at all. That's true. A lot of scientific discoveries. Most people can understand most of them. First, but hundreds of years, all this time, things will be able to common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, that's some of the scientific demonstrations. Could be demonstrated. Something went wrong on the opening experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. I still wish I'd seen it. I thought, though, I'd love to see how bad some of those scam experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. Touche. See here, every page on the curious of some article of the great about other. The brighter thing is that the darker shades of shadows that cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, the most impenetrable, that's most atmosphere. Let's look at this thing. Okay, just behind, it's a metaphor way to bring back the back. So many glowing papers about the great exhibition and everything that's going on in here. Rather than glowing one looking here, that is. Wait, what? What is it, Vernon? The Reaper attacked. That's Miller's my sight. There must be. That's what must be something. Does he know anything about Lunar? Every article on the front page about the Great Exhibition. The public experiments that demonstrate the grandest scientific around the globe. It's all positive, hopefully, about the coming century. We must all go see the property properly before long. What's the films about this? There we go. The gloomy mood. Are you investigating a particular case at the moment, Mr. Holmes? He could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add, that's like you. But, sort of... Quiet, Mr. Naruto. We cannot discuss it here. You know who might be listening. You are acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually... The more mysteries the complicated case is, the better Hurley's mood. Is it really that case that bothering you? Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deductions without invitation. Remember what I say, put yourself in the shoes of the individuals and whom you're making the deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes? Never mind, once I have a cup of tea, I must make my way to the crime scene. That's a very deep sigh. Reaper attack. In the papers, that Lord by Sykes was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper, the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only one would tell one too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barack von Zakes. They say that the Reaper is the prosecutor in the case has no salvation for in the docks. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone has sights on the sights, one way or the other, the person time is on Earth will be short. Honest finest rogues always find a way around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal from trial. Falsifying evidence, paying shame witness, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even the decisive attackers that cannot save them from the hands of the Reaper. You experienced it for yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruto? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of those criminal rogues are reckless and unafraid to die. If a leader amongst the fraternity is seen to have taken a bite of... Does occur? Really, the capital has never ending such a plot scandal. So, do you mean Lord von Zakes has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time. He's quite accomplished combat, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright, man? It's all right, dear fellow. How on earth would I know? Well, the article says to what condition? All been revealed tomorrow morning's edition. I see. Well, I shall have a patience. Oh, no, I can't wait. No. In that case, you shall have inquire with someone else to know. But who? Or Songheart, perhaps. You got quick. That's quick. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Holmes. You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You think to put me off my guard. Follow me, don't you? You know, well, you shouldn't be listening to me. Oh, that hadn't crossed my mind. But I am wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out the door. Oh boy. Alright, no, let's get... Oh, okay. Oh, Iris, what are you doing? I got changed to the Great Exposition. You're going to take me. But, I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well, that's fun. You were going to take me there ahead. Alright, fine. Just... Alright, one. What you... Oh, cars. After the Supreme Court, we'll head to the... Oh boy. Haven't been here in a while. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But something never changed, like the sense of foreboding I've always seemed to feel in this place. Iris. Seems to bother Iris at all, though she's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find something interesting in books. Oh, of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato was given the news that she has to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. Strongheart. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well. Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've been kept waiting a while. Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing here and waiting seriously. Good to know. Good to know what that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Male Strongheart. Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to practice in the defense lawyer since when I arrived in Brighton. This is it. You only need to savor the air for a moment. This is the Grand Office to understand the preeminent status. Are you, as you will be aware, the latest edition and is underway. Now underway at last. We are extremely busy as results. Listing the grounding new technologies, dealing with the petty crime, and furthermore, next month, we shall open the International Forensics Synopsis. Oh, I have not heard that. Investigating authorities from the 40 countries all around the globe will be taking part, including your own land. As the science is the future, the world must embrace it. Are we hosting a nation? As we're to host a nation, I have much to do. And if it's the highest priority, I'll wait for my attention if it's also being. Oh, it's nice to know whether I stand. Oh, you wish because of course I can. Well, I do. Actually, there's some. So they are wrong. Oh no, not that. Let's worry about that. Her attack. Oh, you ignored. Or no. Alright, Restorator. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for concern. The Lord of Sakes would not be easily dispatched as for you. I can tell you what happened. He also, I don't know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. I actually came back at permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work as a lawyer was revoked, as I was told to spend time stuff. Obviously, I'm very sorry what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of the foreign justice system. And I desperately have another go. Please permit the end of the report again. There's an order? Yes? Please, here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This will never adhere to... That was your never intended role. Oh, that's true. The Japanese government is actually sitting my best friend on the territory on me. It should have been court. He was also determined to bring the court his own homes. That's what it's called. If that tragic incident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in the office now. Arasagi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to. It's calling, you say. Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you should have knew nothing of his true home? Sorry. The mission with which the young student was charged with. What do you think of? What do you mean? The mission? He was not... Never mind. I really read the reports you submitted over the past 6 months. It clears to me that you regret your actions. You have studiously observed the revised instructions. Do you mean... As of the moment, I instate your license to practice law in Britain. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's wonderful news, Mr. Naruto. In fact, I believe I have a perfect case for Mark for your comeback. Curious affair. You're considerate, I hope. Of course, please don't. Curious affair. You're describing it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it's reported here in the press. As you're aware, there was a serious act of great suspicion yesterday. Oh no! Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see here. How do they describe it? Super high voltage, instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instantaneous kinesis and moving thing that with clicks with the click of the fan. That's right. It was what my herbal blend need adapt a devil may care. Did they have to give me a devil may cry joke here? Whatever this serious accident had was exactly as clearly to capture. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odi Asama, an inventor and well-known figure in society, a large explosion. Man died. Oh boy. The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harboring. I get Hairbrain. Oh, Hairbrain. That's what it is. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you tend to take his defense, you should hurry to the prison to meet him. There is very little time for you to carry out any kind of investigation. Recognition in scientific experiment gone wrong. And murder. I feel out of my depth. Even started still. Well, he should go to the prison straight away, and then try to meet the great German professor definitely. Oh yes, one more thing about the case. You'll have him. There's no connections with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh? Wasn't on for Sykes? How? All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world, coincidence with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest, most important one will take part last. The International Forensic Scientific Symposium. That's a mouthful. It doesn't seem though the criminal investigations need to embrace scientific method, does it? So, exactly. London, the global express this year of culture and science has the population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, the crime and capital is growing at a similar starting rate, which is appropriate. Which is appropriate to the latest scientific methods of resolving a case as effective as possible. Which is what forensic science isn't. Exactly. Future policy. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly, it's extremely alarming. Oh. My god, can you not be over dramatic? If I were Her Majesty and Attorney General, you can be sure the number of crimes committed and resolved in London will be very different to current figures. I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. I'm sorry. By apology and keeping you from waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone for me. What? How fascinating. It began 15 years ago. I was... There we go. Yep. There we go. Wow. You knew how to drag a conversation. As more sums up a feeling no matter. It's simply the terms of course. Essentially, to formally establish a friend's investigation. And this is my mission. Oh, that's right, yes. Oh, wonderful, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful, precisely that it will be. He's just reading the book while he's amazing and all. She's caught her nose in another book now. That just sums up the entire song. Oh, what the hell over the idiot. I actually drifted off a little somewhere. He's surprisingly added as well. The condition. Fortunately, Von Steeks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He is a very capable fighter. But that is incredible. They are armed with guns. Why was he attacked though, do you know? It relates to the events that occurred a month ago. A leader from one of the capital criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Von Zykes. But the man was acquitted. I have no large sum of money. Money were involved behind the scenes. Large sum of money. So, a deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite the winning his freedom, the man was questioned was dramatically ended yesterday. Oh, he was the guy who was acquitted. Really, the victim's hitchman certainly thinks so. He's a man named Osama. Oh! He's the guy who was killed. Did you say Osama? The man who died from the big explosion in the Great Exhibition. Yes, now probably as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder if I could ask you something, Lord Strongheart. Why do you use Lord Strongheart as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in the courts meet at the serious end in the courtroom. And the fateful fate, they seem to strike at Lord von Zieg's first. Is there no evidence that actually the Reaper is actually in the scenes, but still? Something's clearly going on here. I have von Zieg's work as a prosecutor using service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man's the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any death of the criminals that may have occurred outside the courtroom and trials have nothing to do with them. That doesn't make sense. How would he explain why is the way so many people have died by someone's hands? Van Zieks may earn himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he's no killer. He will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Of course. Well, I must be leaving for you next in my wing. I'm already 11 hours, 16 minutes late. My colleague may be starting to forget me. 11 hours late, that's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived here for the occasion with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stopped for no one. I'm sure it stopped for me during the 12 solid arguments and 220 reasons. Oh yes, where will I find Lord von Zieks now? I assume he's at his office. Right. I'll go ask him about his attack in person. I want to get straight to the horse's mouth. Where with you now? I'm leaving the prosecution. Puts her hereby defense in your hands. Oh, of course, yes. Thank you very much. Oh boy. Let's move. Prosecutor's office. Let's head there first. Wow, that's a big office. Oh, this is such a legendary Reaper, this office. Yeah, it appears so. Seems chilled down my side, doesn't it? An amazing, definitely atmosphere. Ironic. Oh, isn't it? That hooded figure is so still. I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who he is. Who it is. What are you doing here? Ah. Von Zieks. He's unwelcoming, I assure you. Actually, maybe more so. Oh, I am. I'm glad you're well. I am. So, who is the person? No judgment. I'm taking here. Oh? That's my apprentice. He's saying they're his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person in the picture in the newspaper. He's very able in combat, and was at skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack of the Reaper of important papers? The Reaper. I'd be interested in knowing the Reaper's true identity myself, assuming that is the fabricated legend generally inhabits a great courtroom. Now to get the trophy out of the way. I know you've seen this in my mind, but what is it exactly? It's hard to defense or in Japan at least. That's what the reason why you're showing it to me, right? Is it? Oh, well, I don't know, really. I couldn't understand it at least. There's a merit for reminding yourself who helped you become who you are today, what you are today. Oh. But that's a personal matter, something you may want to keep close at all times. Sometimes, something to flaunt. Oh, I suppose not. Thank you for understanding, though. And we got the inspirational roots. One was like, about the article in this paper. Yes, it seems that there was a reporter hereby the last skirmish that took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. It looks as though it was taken after people who were attacked you ran away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else abiding you, it seems. Yep. And I think it's the same kind of signal there we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? Last night's attack. Our Strongheart said that the assault last night has some sort of revenge attack? Who carried out by the henchmen of Odie Arsman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably the hope to kill me before that happened. Odie Arsman. He's a lawyer. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers and global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means, via criminal activities. Really. And he's using that money to buy himself a verdict, or not guilty verdict, when he's found himself in the court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. But the man got his competence in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in the extraordinary circumstances, it was the most unusual case of the cause of death. I know about that. The super high voltage understanding its kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Arsoni died when the demonstration on the public expectations ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of mind of... Oh, no. That doesn't seem a little far-fetched. This man has really fabled the Reaper. Then he has to be innocent in particular death, at least. It's strange how this has worked for him, hasn't it, Reno? I mean, what with you taking up the wrestler's defense for what? We're going to defending him. Oh yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man yet, to be honest. Albert Ironbringer. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. What? Contemporary? Really? I understand that the Professor Harebrained was from Germany, though. Harebrained's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out his research, that's all. So you were studying together. I was in fact in the faculty of law, of course. He and the science, our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along together, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him? If only I made my way out of the office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, seems? Yes, I know, because the prosecution will have to be handled by me, by you. But you made it sound like as if you and the press are a friend. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? The Reaper is the prosecutor. There's nothing anyone can do to save him from him. What's Lord Von Seek's thinking? The identity. What I mean by what you said before is like you know the Reaper's true identity. Doesn't that mean I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal? It looks like any other. I'm not no demigod. But they're all died, haven't they? People you prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in conviction or acquittal. Those I prosecuted are vilest wretches of our society. People without question deserve to be found guilty. The world would be a better place without them. But that's not true, Mr. Noximity, for example. He wasn't at all. Or did he? In fact, no. I can't deny that since I countered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is, if any violence that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was as an answer of their own kind. It's not my work. Strongheart said the same thing. He believes that you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by the ruffians because of them. They believe it's true. The fact is, since people started calling me the Reaper or the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh, it would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say? I meant to say that if I'm pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I doubt it greatly with honor. You're putting you in danger. You're putting you in danger. You could be killed. In the fate of the God, let God decide. Oh my sakes! Your apprentice. He's a tutelage that came to become. He's my tutelage to become. You could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. You're an early, you know. Taking apprentice was a great detective. He's currently compelling reports about last night's attack. It looks like he's wearing the same kind of mask, some kind of mask. On Lord Sarkhark's orders, nobody knows the man's face or indeed his identity. But why would he agree to take such a clueless? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one of the meaningless follies. There are good reasons for his actions. I hope you are right. The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the police. Nice to meet you. I have to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met that man before, but I don't even know how he existed yet. Somehow, it didn't feel like our first encounter. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside the office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you interested in my friend? No. I mean, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet that's philosopher. I couldn't be. They kind of gotten that right away there. Yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what is that? Is he very well? Oh, sorry. The other one arrested twice 6 months ago. With the sip in the mustache. The other. Mr. Nosman, you mean? Yeah. I'm not sure he's been very pleased to find out the end. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him and it was posted the other day. I see. Well, I think that comes to a discussion here, don't you? There's a little time before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for your advice and the conversation. I can't believe he's asked me after. Sorry, son. I'm sure whether or not to feel happy or about that word. I never imagined we would be friends with a man that's scientist, you know. But that turns up for books. Mad scientist. You mean the professor, Mr. Harbrain. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about the relationship with Longsword and Heart, I think. And let's move. The prison. Mr. Harbrain. Warden Cell 11. That's the one. Oh, there's someone curled up in the ball in the back corner. Look, what's his name again? Professor Albert Harbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Mr. Professor Harbrain. Who are you? I'm Reno Sosowski, a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Well, what would you be here about that? Are you going to defend your sorry, I don't. Yesterday's demonstration was magnificent. It was out a success by anyone's calculation, but despite that, no one listens. No lawyers believe in science. When I explain, they all leave high velocity. Oh boy. No, probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made you leave for a while. My concentration leave for a while too. How could this have happened? You feel awful. As a man who's losing his life, the Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. I know what happened. It must have been that. The day before the demonstration, I had a usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. I paid the bill. They gave me 3 shillings to make much change. But instead of saying anything, I slipped a coin into my pocket. They're still there now. The divine retribution of my wrongdoing, that's what it is. Forensic science. He's something illogically anecdoted, long, illegal, and illegal. Fascinating, yes. In Japan, where I come from, it's a symbol of defense lawyers. Wearing is bracing, I find. Your words make some sense to me, but they're entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find it while the laboratory coat that I wear is very bracing too. However, in my case, there's practically a logical reason for it. Oh, really? Was it? I purchased the wrong size mistake. My mistake. This is one too small for me. The sleeves are especially extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrist. And yet you can move it just fine. That's why you call it logical, is it? Of course, it's extremely logical. That's science, Mr. Naruto. Yesterday's demonstration. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. That paper called it a spectacular failure after all the men died in an explosion, didn't you? You could interpret the results the way you really wanted to. What am I getting the fact that his hair is a wig? Just the way he was moving it. Well, I suppose it's the strictest sense. I can't pronounce the words today. The experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You lost me. I saw it with my eyes, right in front of me. Master Archman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as calculated as I had predicted. But at the point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Arman's fate is perished. I can't deny that part. The experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. was an accident, correct? But bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible to my staff that amount of old truth there, and for that I was to be punished at once. But murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident, a simple accident. I see. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or a murder. How exactly? Well, if it was really an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. What grounds? Yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Defense Scientific Equipment Act. That's one that passed by me by. But the case is treated as a murder. They'll have the samurai machine as was a murder weapon. They'll be able to pour it over as much as they like. They'll examine it in detail. They'll find out how it was made, and then they'll be able to copy my ideas. My hypotheses will be stolen. The machine must be protected at all costs. That's why it's imperative, this whole incident to be shown as an accident in tomorrow's trial. I see now. Nieces. So, in sorts, there was a terrible accident in the great exhibition shown around yesterday. Yes, or rather, no, the devil in the detail is in the detail. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. Yep. You were demonstrating a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. How fascinating. Elements are all matter. Are made up of particles that are held together with electrical bonds. So it must be possible to using significant high voltage to break those bonds to be in particular space. That's in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high level of science. Oh, but dare imagine it. Dare to dream such an incredible technology. Let's think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be in the great exhibition. Oh yes, that would be incredible. And then in the mirror blink of an eye, I could even be in the great partisan theater, you say. The possibilities are endless. The whole vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding the wardrobes on a rocky hot sea for filthy days. I don't really like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem so vast anymore, would it? I think that would be, it's gonna feel like I had stronger. That's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean? What a fascinating little fellow is this guy. I had to do that. Oops, that's a great Professor. The bunny brain really worried about the look of it. Clearly, this is another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should. I suppose. Touché. Point is, my calculations were flawless. The science does work. But without a particular demonstration, I mean nothing. It's nothing. That's always the fly on the ornament. Because particle demonstration costs a lot of money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him right at the time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Arsman. The victim who died yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? You know the Reaper. As I said, you and Von Seeks were friends of yours from university. Yes, that's right. He was studying a lot while I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. I'm assuming, genuinely, and all around a nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I was talking about the cold-hearted, merciless persecutor, Ron Parasites. What he's like? That is him. Talk about a leading question, Bruno. As I said, an usually extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling Von Seek's family, of the Von Seek's family with the greatest aristocrat's origin. I didn't realize he had such a noble blood. Little darling. Wait, he's a younger sibling? It was a bit of a shock when I came to Britain and learned that what he became. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of it? Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time of Great Britain already. Oh yes, of course. He's heard all about the Reaper. I really don't have a heart to tell him that Lord Von Seeks will be the prosecutor in tomorrow's case. The victim. The full name of the man who died yesterday was Ode Armsman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? His first visit to the laboratory of Germany years ago. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypotheses, I think. My lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm envious, so he means. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel even. He was prepared to fund dramatically demonstrating my hypotheses for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if it went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from Great Britain government. Mr. Archman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He proceeded with a machine to precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust with an enormous explosion. As you can see, I owe everything to Mr. Armstrong. I would never have ever thought the man's taken man. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So, Professor, let me ask you. The huge explosion occurred yesterday was an accident, you were saying. You had no intention of killing the victim who was in fact the sole investor of your work, is that correct? As correct as 2 squared 4 is 4. I swear. Yes, it's true, the man's perished in the machine of my invention. So I knew I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries of my invention to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. A centillion? Really? Centrillion years? Trillion years? I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Believe me, science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I always believed in it. That's all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe in you. I will fight to prove your innocence at all my might. I'm a man of law. That's all I know. You have to believe in me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationally, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you for in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Renault. It's time to visit the great expedition. Alright? Well, what is the accident happening? That's what it is, isn't it? Yes, I suppose it's true. Time to visit. Thank you for the time, Mr. Herbert. Experimentation stage. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been here walking around the dense crowd for 2 hours now. I felt myself swooning there 3 times. There are a lot of people there, aren't there? It's almost been trolling on 9 times. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't go like on my hand. You manly made it through, by the looks of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. What is it? What's that? I hear voices on the stage. It sounds like an argument. Alright, I had it with you this time. I warn you, I will arrest you within a minute. Oh yeah, go on, Inspector. Give it your shot. You ain't got no evidence, all I know. Wait, I know those voices. You... Wait, Brian. Just try it, dare you. I have shit on down here. Oh boy. Go! Oh, Gracie! What are you doing up there? Ah! It's you, here. You're here. Where are you? That maker, a little 3-time my lady. It's not well at all. The bars are busy here. I wanted to ride the balloon, but there's a 3-hour queue. Ooh, unbelievable. It has a word to one solution. Oh, my. Inspector Gregson, Tobias Gregson, an inspector of Scotland Yard. And until recently, he's suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action. He's actually quite known to the peer he does the great. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong about the sword's authorized, but there's a limit, surely. Or should we? Watch your son. Sorry. But gives then? Don't tell me you're on the case. Yes, I'm acting defense. We're here to investigate. Dear me, that's the situation, is it? It's really troubling. Not troubling. I'm merely 5 bob. Is that all good for you got? Gina! You're a lawyer, aren't you? You can stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Nardo. Ah, Gina! What? Hey! The last time... That's the last bit of it. You have a back. I changed for all the bother. Y'all bother the bob, 3 bob. Gina Lestrade. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver or born in the East London. In the case, they led to our suspicions. This is the very young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Odo? Diver, pickpocket? Wait, what wife was on that? I want a bag of ground. W? Oh, I thought you were a proud diver, DM. You were just arguing with Spectre about, weren't you? I'm assuming you've been up to your little tricks episode. That ain't what I'm talking about, Odo. After all this years long time, people can't change. I'm an apprentice now, learning the Scotland Yard detective. You have to call me the Inspector Lester. Inspector? That's a homemade badge. The Inspector part isn't clearly accurate. No one calls her that. But what's worthy anyway? Investigation's off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back at the top. You should hold the fort down here anyway. Alright, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Oh, but as I see her happy again. After all that. Well, Gina. It was 8 months ago when I first encountered Gina in connection with the case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East Coast. She helped all of them, but she got bored in the murder. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was diving, working out. Oh, I'm pleased to hear it, Jeannie. Well done. Oh, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective. You got it good in it. Detective Lestrade. It sounds like something off the book there. Talk about a sea change. And there's Iris is all man to think about. Iris' father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I got police force around the world to pull up with some stuff looking for her in mind. That's a small promise and nothing serious. Oh, Jeannie, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how I come to test the Scotland Yard. Only problem is I don't read so well, would I? It's a small problem, nothing serious. It's the last one early approached Grexy and asked her for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Jeannie and my sort of apprentice. That was the magnetism of the Inspector Grayson the Great. Well, you know Hurley, he's quite keen to us finding ways to make people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. Of course. So, the long and short it is, you got questions about the case, you ask the specialist. Alright then, that's Vector. Actually, there's some big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what? What about that? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in the trial prosecuted by a trial which she found not guilty. And there she's still here. Come on, wait, yeah, you're not so on about that, yeah, the Legend of the Reaper, whatever it's called. Or, y'all, I didn't have to worry about there would probably be a whole lot left. Okay, Reaper kind of an upstart. So what? I was outside. I ain't done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be a stretch at the point. What about Mr. I'm assuming in Japan? He's probably fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Yesterday's incident. Or it was, what was it? The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine, and suddenly it started blowing spark. Then they would pop. They ain't better experiments, aren't they? No. Alright, you mean you saw it, Genie? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. Boss in charge are of keeping an effing been running smooth. I mean, the boss is being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna be taking some getting used to. So all I have to say is I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Like this, I'm alone flying the balloon whenever it happens, watching from the top. Oh, you're a lucky genie. I should have joined Skylar too. Yeah, do it. Oh, you know, to put the boss in bed, buddy. Right, Iris? Where's you, adult? You have no trouble at all. That's settled. Oh, no. We can't talk about the Iris. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I don't understand this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can the Professor Brain Bunny be claiming his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success in a way. It was. How can that have been? Successful experiment. Shortly after the whole machine blew up, no one could have called it an experiment. It was like I said, it did sort of work. Yeah, I mean, there was a load of smoke and a whopping grand bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? Whoa! As you can see for yourself, can't you? Above the scout, New York scarf. Oh, where all the glass broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage, what the victim started with, really got beamed through the air and whatever, and landed in the, all the way over there. So you'll see, it's kind of worked in. What? I don't believe it. I mean, I didn't get it, the ins and outs, but anything possible with science. Oh, I would tell you what, you can have this. It's a planetary experiment they drew up in Scotland Yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had it before. 3 bottles before. That's fair. Yes, I did actually give it to you. I think it did. Let's look at that. About the investigation. Something Federal President said before a little strange. Well, it's worthy. Anyway, investigation's off the cards for all of us. Yes, naughty great old Grayson ran off without even explaining himself. Alright, that. Boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine that blew it up yesterday. What? That's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, would you tell us what you learned from the investigation? Nah, you ain't getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate either. Why? What did the boss call them? A forensic investigation team, I think? Anyway, apart from the lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, eh? So even Scotland Yard detectives can't investigate. I've never heard something like that before. I thought I might be able to gander her quite, but boss caught me at it. You probably have heard him giving me an earful before from down here, didn't you? It's not really fair. Do you think you were giving him so much earful back? I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes it's all them shifts what makes them stubborn. So, something go on. Go through to him. He's up on the platform, isn't he? Where the machine explode is. You can try, can't we right now? Rexy will listen to us. What do we have here? Oh look, what is that? A ripped piece of cloth? It's nothing like fabric I've ever seen. Very thick, stiff, and extremely durable. It's canvas, I think, some sort of rubber thick, and the edge appears to be charred well. Maybe it means something to do with the explosion? Let's make a note with the Genie's video. Looks like a layer of thick canvas with thick rubber of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. By applying to Mr. Soul's pencil, you might deduce that it's a particular raincoat worn by someone who really didn't get wet. But charring occurred when the person is struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Whatever's COVID is trying to cohesive, whatever it's called, dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success? What in the scaffold is there? The coppers let our lads after the incident happened. To get nobody down, to get the body down, I don't know really. Didn't you help erect the scaffold? And looking out more duty is more my thing. Wandering around the exhibit, keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Grayson didn't hear you say that, or he'll give you a little. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim have really been bridged the gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? The Crystal Tower, and certainly an aptly what the focus exhibit is definitely being tall and tall glass. I can imagine being built every There's a lot of exhibits at the tower apparently. Of course, there's an observatory. Obviously, there's an art gallery and a zoo and a museum. But you heard have to quarry 3 hours just to get through the doors. Well, at the moment, it's shattered glass from failed experiment may be a biggest draw. And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Oof! Apparently, everybody's taking the skies is to look down the disaster area above into it. But there's 3 hours to go up in the balloon now. Londoners must be very patient people. Get out safe. Okay, moving on. Anything else to talk about? Nope. A series obviously lead to the stage. Well, we should go up there and investigate the spot while we're in the experiment. Wow. So that's it. The machine that blew up. Oh, that must be a magnificent explosion. To seeing the fair share. You've seen, seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments at the end of the bank with the main. In fact, in his own words, explosions are very essential to chemists. That might be explained. The burning smell frequently comes away from the stairs. One time he made something that exploded with so much force, it took the roof off the building. Oh, wow. I wish I could have been there to see it, Bruno. It's hard to get excited about that, given that I now live on that roof. Well, anyway, that's enough for about that. I'll investigate. Oh, look, Inspector Raisins over there. He seems to be in deep thought about something. Well, really? He's just confused looking to me. If there's anything over here. It ripped apart and manipulated, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stood in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the part. Yes, that's the part of the crucial really. Something like that seemed possible for ours. No, Bruno, I'm just a child. How could I know? Oh, when it suits you. From what I can tell, I think you were trying to hold this. Stop. Don't touch that. Particularly as instantaneous kinesis, the way to get. Please, your relationship. I didn't mean to start you, but can't you at least not touch anything up here? Sorry, you have this and let it blend to make up for it. Wonderful. You're representing her brain in court, so if you listen, Sunshine, I am not allowed to touch anything up here. That blasted suspension scientific equipment act and claim it's driven. That's a special dispensement. The pressure mentioned that too. More red tape, more all we need. I don't know what the government thinks is playing at something. I'm just one sec. But we're allowed just to look, aren't we? This really is alright, crazy. sort of ladyship. Anything you say is ladyship. Please don't get your dang hands on it, will you? Don't worry. We want to dream of touching anything, shouldn't we, really? She really knows how to get what she wants. Inspector, have you read this paper? Yeah, 2 on the rolling blast. Back to back. This is one exhibition and the Reaper got attacked. I know, the terrible news to wake up to, wasn't it? I just tried to pretend I hadn't read it. Turn over for another 40 pages. Because of that, I was late up getting roasted from the super. Some morning aren't like that, aren't they? This for old time stuff, fun. Oh, that's impossible. My server here. My phone was on for the deep wire. Once ever said that to me before. Mr. Someone suggests I fit it to a dog. If you try to fight it first, you can feed it to me. Does he think that makes a baby? He's made a potato. Had to do that. Government policy. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, but it's far most unusual for an experiment planned for the exhibit line. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present. The government's doing everything they can to promote and use science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot public safety approaches. They can be the first development. Some technologies, it makes Great Britain more powerful in the future, you see. I see, that's true in a way. So the powers that to be placed in a heavy emphasis of scientific rights at the moment. What sort of rights? Of making anything theories that the brains remains legal property, as it were. Right through development and practice ideas going production. It's the infuriation reason that us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new high-happiness special disbursement for scientific equipment act forbids it. I see now. The only person with permission to investigation here is the brand new it's a forensic investigation team, so it's called. But we've been relegated to keeping guard. The forensic investigation team. Any fool could see the heap of scrap. Was the sham to begin with, just because it was assigned equipment on the paperwork. We can't do it. Poor Gracie, he's been in it. Remind me again, what is this new legal act means? We're not allowed to touch the thing. Are you having at me, Sunshine? The Specialization Scientific Experiment Act. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned it recently. There was a twinkle in his eye, I remember. I'm sure he did. In your relationship, I'm sure he did. Please, pass especially for the largest, greatest as a scientist, all scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions in some suits in civil service. And it's a and it gets a rubber stamp that's guaranteed rights to maintain inventions and confidential. What does that really mean? Think about all the world-changing inventions on display on every exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of gobber, if you ask me, put it forward shammers like yourself. Oof. Thanks for that. Oh, how absurd inventions are here aren't so far. Yeah, it might be from you, but a member Fourth has to be present every single day and every. Can you imagine? Kicking signs, that's exactly what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like a dream job. You think so? Otherwise, have the specials. But they're bogus. How can anybody hope to demonstrate them? Yeah, well, there's a point. That's a point. So sorry. That's another. If he dirty that's all. I thought it was research going. A scientific funding. Exactly. That's why they're all after. All the shammers coming forward to clog the height part and hope to keep them safe. And who has to smile politely and welcome back. That's coppers. That's it. You see why I can't say I can't hang science. Hang it. Oh, maybe I see your point. Mr. Hairbrine. Apparently Professor Hairbrine lives and works in Germany now conducting his research. That's right, came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, I assume. Probably after one of the government research. Actually, we learned something about the professor earlier today. About his time for education in terms of university with someone we both know, Lauren von Sykes. What's that? That's news to me. But if I take the man's prosecution, then they accuse the prosecutor's fate is sealed because the Reaper will get in one way or another. I mean, that's beyond me. I don't know what's going on in his head. That head of his. Talking about Von Sykes, this morning's paper runs stories read that. Oh yes, but this Reaper is completely fine, nothing to worry about. Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, how long is that business going to keep, I wonder? Mr. Reaper. Victim of the case, Mr. Alan Smith. He was another Reaper's victim, or so I heard. On site, the top prosecutor. It's top prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes the justice can't win. Yes, I heard about the jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper or the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Von Sykes initially. We all assumed he was taking the matters in his own hands if a fate sealed and dealt in court, although the man himself denies the charge. Well, we've done thorough investigation, including research. That if Lord Von Sykes is no way related to the deaths of the people outside the courtroom, there's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it. I would. But if that's true, then how would you explain it? That all those defendants couldn't have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. Mystery after all, isn't it the whole point of the Reaper? Professor Harbrain mentioned something else. He said that after university, Lauren von Sykes was a totally different person. Easy goer kind. You what? He said that after they both graduated, something happened that changed him. Do you have any idea what was that? No clue. Really? Look, I got my hands full watching over the frustration of the scene. Why don't you go make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere? He knows something. Somehow badly damaging him. His parts are hair-brained was luckily to escape us. We should go looking around the machine while we can see. Don't touch anything. I'll kill you before I get to you. I won't touch anything, I promise, please. That's barely the thought of it. Anyway, do you really think the machine could actually disassemble people? Well, like the professor claimed. He asked. Not looking totally incredible. Give it a rest. We're allowed to examine all the scraps of metal that we are answering the question. But we can't. Because of the annoying rule, you mean? Exactly, they're most annoying. Oh, look at the base of the machine there. Oh, there's a tool, some kind of poking environment. It's a screwdriver, I think. Isn't it a lovely one? It's handle shape. It is. Oh, yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? The razor is very pointed. It really is cute. Here's the answer. The other lover is once his boy. Find something like this. I'm afraid I can't let you have it. Bruno found the quarters. I assure you, with the investigation, I'll start. He's gone off with it. I wonder what that means, I'm afraid. Professor Grayson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake next month. And stop it now. Poor Gracie. Ooh. What's that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an honest fair. It's a Ferris wheel. That's a Ferris wheel. There's people riding inside. Cabins, you can see. Why? Well, rotating nicely, slowly, is a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still. Yes, that's because it's turning slowly, one completely revolution by about every half hour. If you're going to be mad enough to go in one, it would be more than fun and frizzy around fast enough, don't you? I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of version there, Reno. That's an amazing horn-shaped device, one door's worth of power. It's supposed to, Anything else in the salmon? And what else I could do? Over the show. Wow. Looks like all these German scenes. There we go. Yep. Please don't say that. Of course, that's just one. Oh. Ah! Oh, we have one over there.
Hold it!
What the hell is that? Mr. Sholmes. Alright, what's the purpose? I look for you. Emperor. And that kick, could you have not a little more restraint, would you? Oh, Bruno, have something you need to have. White questions. I think you personally great. That's all we are. Well, I can eye your timing is impeccable. A mere 2 minutes before our start stationary like that. My great brains are oh, thank goodness we arrived in time. Oh, Harley, you go. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion it's related to the matter of which you're king. But how could it be? I'm so silently, my dear fellow. For now, I rest with. Wait, but. Ah.
Take that! Take that! Take that! Take that!